right, so we're on tool number 10. The last one that you have listed in your book, it's not the last that the scriptures mention. The scriptures are exhaustive in the tools that they provide for us to fight against sin and temptation. So again, these are just a few practical ones for us to tuck into our belts as we think about the day-to-day walk that we have with Christ and how we can live for Him and not fall to the temptations that arise throughout the day. And this 10th tool comes from the book of Proverbs, and the summary of it is to listen. And what does Proverbs tell us that we need to listen to?
Well, as you read the book of Proverbs, it talks about listening specifically to your parents and your father and your mother and those who are responsible for you as a guardian, so to speak, that there is wisdom, there is guidance in the experience and knowledge of those over you who particularly who are believers. But it doesn't say that. It says listen to your parents and learn from them. And not only your parents, there's other people. In an abundance of counselors, there is wisdom. And so to go through life on our own, thinking we know everything or we can figure out everything, or we don't need any guidance, we don't need any instruction, we don't need any counsel or rebuke or whatever, is to miss the mark on understanding the people God has provided to keep us safe as we go down the journey of our life. And to ignore that is at our own peril, because by ourselves we open the door for temptation and sin to grab hold of us in a way it might not be able to if we had other people around us, guiding us, instructing us, and imparting wisdom to us if we would just listen.
This tool, I think, ties in really well with the one that we talked about previously, which was to partner or to be accountable and find strength in others. For folks whose parents have died or passed on, or folks who never knew their parents, the church, God supplies mothers and fathers and older brothers and older sisters and grandparents to us when we're without those people in our lives.
That's an awesome point, and it's very important to, that's why it's important to be a member of a church, of a community where we are able to benefit from the gifts of others, and others can benefit from the gifts that God has given us. And so whether you don't have parents, whether you're alone, without parents, you have the church, and you're right. There's people in the church who fulfill that role that God has provided.
I remember a man telling me one time he grew up without a father, and the first 9 chapters of Proverbs were particularly meaningful to him as a young man, because it was a father speaking to a son and trying to pass on wisdom to a son. And so I think that not just this particular verse in Proverbs, but Proverbs almost as a whole is a great place to find wisdom that we can use in a practical way to overcome sin and temptation.
Well, our ultimate Father is God Himself. And Scripture tells us to call God our Father, and Scripture are His words of wisdom to us. So to listen to Scripture, to acknowledge God is to have a Father to guide us. And I think that's real important to remember.